Hey guys, Doug here with the Credit app. I just wanted to go over a few things on credit data reporting for small business owners, how exactly that works, who's qualified, and how it can benefit your business by reporting credit data just like larger companies. So obviously a lot of people ask me like how can you report credit data, who qualifies for reporting credit data, and legally any company in the United States is allowed to report credit data to the credit bureaus through a separate agreement called a data furnisher agreement. So why doesn't every company do this? Well, the issue is that most of the credit bureaus, the top three, have minimum credit line reporting amounts, and the minimum right now is 50. So you need to have 50 people that you're reporting to the credit bureaus every month in order to qualify to be a data furnisher. And so obviously, unless you're really bad at writing contracts or you're doing 100 million a year in sales, you're probably not going to have 50 defaults that you're going to need to report on any given month. So that's a big issue because getting set up as a data furnisher is going to require an entire department in your company. And if you have a few thousand employees, that's really not that big of a deal. But if your sales are less than 75 or $100 million a year, it's just an unrealistic thing building out an entire department of credit reporting. Not only that, but the process takes at least a year and is incredibly difficult to get qualified for, and the requirements are insane to say the least. And so that's what we do here at the Credit app is that we are that data furnishing department that the big Fortune 500 companies have that y'all can just lease out as you needed by using our services. So instead of getting your own data furnishing contract, putting in like the year or two to build the software so that you can report, someone who defaulted on $4,000 or $5,000, once a quarter or so is just not a very realistic thing. And so here at the Credit app, what we do is we just charge our small fee, $99 per debtor, and then we make sure that everything is legal, compliant, make sure that they're reported in the appropriate manner. And that takes a lot of work and effort to stay in compliance in all 50 states, which we are legally allowed to report credit data in all 50 states now. So this is a really great service. We are not a debt collection company. We don't, if they pay, that's fantastic. It looks great on us, but we're not negotiating debt for you guys. We are a tool in your collection tool belt. So very similar to a lien, calling an attorney, sending a demand letter. It's very similar to those things, but we try to make it as easy as possible. So you just get on our website, thecreditapp.org, and you just create a new account, upload their information. You got to upload a bona fide signed contract that they defaulted on, and then we take it over from there. You don't have to get anything notarized. You don't have to take anything down to the clerk's office. You don't have to find their legal address through a bunch of paperwork. It's as simple as possible, and this provides immediate leverage. Because even when you take these people to court, attorneys are going to want the same amount. They're 30%, just like a debt collector. It's going to take 2 years. You're going to get a judgment, and they're going to be like, congratulations, a judge says that you are owed this money. Now you got to go get it. And depending on what state you live in, that might not be a realistic thing that will ever happen. You put a lien on their house. Well, I guess if they're planning on moving in the next year or two, like that matters. Like that's going to be a big deal when they're trying to sell their house with the title work. But if they're not, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. And so with the credit reporting, it's a quick, fast way that affects people, that gets their attention very quickly. And for $99, it's a very useful tool. All of our data says right now that within a year, you have about a 1 in 7 chance of getting fully paid within the first year. Now, our credit data is going to stay on the report for 7 years. But our data currently on the first year is very accurate. So our average default amount is surprisingly right at around $7,000. And then you have a 1 in 7 chance of getting paid. So if you submit 7 orders to us, I mean, you're spending $700 to collect 7,000. That's a 10%, versus an attorney or a debt collector is going to charge 30%. But here's how that works, guys. When you hire a debt collector and they owe, like, hey, here's this debt, $10,000. You turn it over to a debt collector. You're like, okay, well, I'll pay $3,000 in order to collect $7,000 that I didn't have yesterday. Well, the debt collectors and the attorneys, how they want is they don't want to go to court. They don't want to drag this out. They want to settle. They want to get paid. They want to churn and burn and move on. And so what they do is they call the debtor and they say, "Hey, you owe 10,000. We're going to take you to court. We're going to sue you. We're going to win because you owe it." And or you can just pay 5,000 now, and we don't have to do all that. And most people are okay with that. And so the attorney or debt collector walks away with $1,500, and then you walk away with 3,500, which is a lot less than 10,000. Um, so, I mean, it's a different way of going about things like that works for a lot of people, and that's fine. But with the credit app, I mean, it gives you the same power. JP Morgan, when you don't pay your credit card bill, the first thing they're doing is hitting your credit. Chase Bank, Bank of America, Bank of Tennessee, all of them are going to, that's their first line of defense, is that they're going to report it to your credit bureau. So if you want that same type of capability, that big Fortune 500 type capability, while you're doing 5 or 10 million a year in sales, running your small to medium sized business, please use us at the credit app. We got a lot of great reviews, and people really love our service, and we'd love to have you on board. Talk to you soon.